Good afternoon and welcome to the Netball Centre at Loughborough University for this NBL Division 1 women's action between the Loughborough Riders and the Cardiff Archers. We're now into week 8 of NBL Division 1, but this is just the first appearance of the season for the Archers. Coming out of lockdown in Wales, they're now able to fulfill their fixtures. So a late start in the year coming up against the Loughborough Riders, who are currently sat at 2-2. A mixed bag to start their season, but they're coming into this game after defeating Thames Valley in their previous game 72-53. A huge performance from Robin Ainge in that game. 21 points personal for her, and that earned her a spot in the team of the week. And it's also the first NBL D1 women's action of the weekend to get us underway in what is a full slate as well, that will also see fixtures have the return of fans as Ipswich take on Solent tomorrow. And before that, both teams will take a knee in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. And we're just about ready to get underway. It'll be Stone tipping off against Richards. And it's Loughborough that win the tip, and an immediate backcourt. Not how you're going to want to start a ball game. So Isabel Bunyan to inbound for the Archers, their first offensive possession of the year. Dean has it on the perimeter, driving baseline, help side rotation comes, kicks out to Ferguson in the corner. No good on the first shot, and that'll be a shot clock violation. So the Riders with possession back. Ainge to inbound into Jana Zuska. Hicken now on the ball for the Riders. Hicken finds James for free, back rim, no good. And Cardiff come up with the possession. Dean inside, dish off to Richards. Richards 2 is no good, and it's rebounded by Stone, who turns forward to point guard and looks to bring the ball up. Finds Ainge now. Ainge, Hicken probing, kicks out to James. James for free, and it's good. Our first points of the ball game as the Riders take the lead. Bunyan penetrates into the paint, kicks out to Richards. Richards with nowhere to go. Kicks back out to Dean. Dean driving baseline. And that'll go out of bounds. Last touch for Amber Dean. So it'll be another Riders possession. 2 good defensive possessions for the Riders to start the ball game. Ainge now for the Riders off the back of that team of the week appearance. Huge 21 points in her last game. Jana Zuska up high, penetrates into the paint, goes past the defense. Tough finish for a lot of contacts, no good though. Riders kick back out. James drives baseline. James is fouled on the drive. And Molly James will head to the free throw line to shoot 2. Coming into the game averaging 8.3 points for the Riders. One of the Charnwood College Riders players on this roster. Splits their free throws at the line. The Riders extend that lead to 4, making it a 2-possession ball game. And an immediate stop for the Riders as well as Stone comes up with it. Ainge looking to push the pace. Nice kick ahead to the corner to Jana Zuska for free. And she just towed the line. So that one's going to be a 2. Cardiff now in the hands of Bunyan. Hands off to Ferguson. Ferguson trying to drive into the paint. Almost stripped away by the Riders defense. Shot clock's down to 7. Richards has it up high. Dean gets into the paint. Dean has to throw up a heave, no good, and the Riders come away with the ball and again are looking to play in transition through James. Easy 2 on the reverse. And the Riders have jumped out to a quick 8-0 lead. Dean gets inside, no good, rebounded by Hicken, and again the Riders pushing the pace in transition. Ainge, and the pass kicked out of bounds by Isabel Bunyan, so it'll be a Riders possession on the sideline. Be Hicken to inbound. Stripped away by Dean, who's going to go coast to coast for an easy 2. And the first points of the Cardiff Archers season and the ball game. And Januszewska, soft foul over on the far side, but the Riders won't complain about that. Ainge has it up high, and that's a double dribble. I think the defense almost baiting the referee into making that call. So Bunyan inbounds into Harry. Harry straight down the line. Kicks to Richards. Richards out to Ferguson. And stepped on the sideline. Be a Riders possession. And be Hicken to inbound. And first subs of the game for the Archers as well, but James has it up high, penetrates straight past the defense, and Molly James to the basket for an easy 2. That lead back out to 8 for the Riders now. Although Cardiff straight back down at the other end and reply with an easy lay-in of their own. Ainge pulls up from 3 off the dribble. No good, although a lot of bodies in for the rebound. Januszewska comes up with a 2 from mid-range. And that lead back out to 8 for the Riders. Morris driving baseline, nowhere to go, has to kick it out. Kicks it out to Green. Green over the top to Dean. Dean, nice pass inside to Richards, who had the seal on the defender. And Katie Richards now up to 4 points personal for the ball game. Hicken finds Januszewska, head fake, gets the defender in the air, pulls up from 2, mid-range again for Katie Januszewska. Takes her to 4 points personal for the ball game. And Dean down the other end, going straight at Stone. Gets the 2 to drop and will head to the line for the bonus point. And our first sub for the Riders, Sasha Lakoya comes into the game. And Erin Hicken heads to the bench. Lakoya coming in, averaging 4.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists, doing a little bit of everything for this Riders team. As Dean converts at the line. 5-point ball game midway through the first quarter in this opening game of NBL Division 1 action this weekend. Januszewska has it up high, attacking Green, and gets the foul called. Be James to inbound. Pass to Ainge is stripped away again by Amber Dean, who will again go coast to coast and gets fouled hard going to the basket. Foul's going to go on Robin Ainge. And it's also going to see head coach Antonio Quintero Cano take his first timeout of the ball game. 5 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Riders leading 14-9. And an early look at the box score will tell you that it's been James and Jana Zuska for the Riders combining for all 14 points. Both of them shooting 3 for 4 from the floor. Down at the other end for the Cardiff Met Archers, though, is Dean and Richards combining for all of theirs. So at the moment, it's a 2v2 ball game between the Riders and the Archers. So both teams retake the floor after just hand sanitizing, one of the new protocols following the restart of basketball, which we're all very, very grateful for. And it'll be Amber Dean heading to the line to shoot 1. Sorry, to shoot 2. Makes the first. Trims that lead to 4 for the Riders. And the second. So it's just a 3-point ball game. And Cardiff now showing a full court press as Lakoya hits ahead to Jana Zuska, looking inside to Stone. Almost loses the ball, but manages to get it to Ainge in the corner. Her three's a little bit short. And it's Lauren Green who comes up with a rebound, tries to push ahead, but taken away again by Makana Stone, who's been everywhere defensively to start the ball game for the Riders. Ainge skip pass to James, who's had the hot hand. This time no good, and it's rebounded by Dean. Dean skips across to Morris. Morris's drive, nowhere to go. There's a 3-second call under the basket. That one goes on Karis Roy. Ainge somehow manages to keep it in play in the corner. Ainge up high, finds Stone on that low block, no good, and looked very frustrated with herself on that play. And we'll have another sub for the Archers as Heather Johnston comes in to the ball game for her first action. Isabel Bunyan will head to the bench. James has it in the corner, finds Lakoya on the wing. Again, Dean almost had it in the passing lane. Ainge's free is no good. And is rebounded by Johnston straight off the bench. The Archers with an opportunity here to trim that lead or tie as Dean gets inside and does trim it. Just a 1-point ball game. And after the Riders went out to an early 8-0 lead, Cardiff have battled their way back in first quarter action. James has it in the corner, step back, a little bit long, and it's rebounded by Green. Morris finds Dean up high. Inside to Roy. Roy going at Stone. Lot of contact. Gets the 2 to go. And the Cardiff Archers take their first lead of the ball game. And Karis Roy will head to the free throw line to add the bonus point to the foul. Amber Dean will head to the bench as Maisie Harry comes back into the ball game. Roy at the free throw line, no good. Rebounded by Jana Zuska. Jana Zuska ahead to Lakoya. Jana Zuska into the paint, finds Stone. Stone gets fouled and will head to the free throw line to shoot 2 of her own. The foul is going to go on Lauren Green under the basket. Stone at the line makes her first. and converts on the second. Her first points of the ball game, but coming into the game, averaging a phenomenal 15.7 points to go along with 16.7 rebounds. Definitely made waves in her first season in NBL Division 1, studying at Loughborough University. Former Player of the Week in Week 6 as well, after a huge 25 rebound game. Roy has it, kicks out to Morris. Morris in the corner, got it closely by Jana Zuska. Shot hits the side of the backboard, and it's Jana Zuska who comes up with a rebound. Almost has the pass taken away, but it'll be a Riders possession from the baseline. Inbound by Jana Zuska. Ainge into Stone. Stone fadeaway two. Can't get the drop on the bank shot and is rebounded by the Archers. Harry trying to penetrate but nowhere to go. Has to kick to Morris in the corner. Into Roy. Roy gets into a pivot series, but again nowhere to go inside. Shot clock's down to 5. Cardiff going to have to put up a heave in the hands of Ferguson. Ferguson does just that. And somehow Cardiff come up with the offensive boards. Shot clock again down to 6. Ferguson into the paint. And a kickball is called, so Cardiff will retain possession from the sideline. Shot clock reset to 14. And a couple of subs for the Riders as well, as Ainge and James head to the bench. Hicking coming back in, and Hannah Bird also coming in for her first action of the ball game for the Riders. On ball defender now, switches on to Hicking, who reaches in. And that's not the foul you want from Erin Hicking, straight after the sub. Her first of the game, but the 4th team foul for the Riders, so both teams now in the penalty on their next foul. And the Archers on the inbound find Harry, who just dribbles it off her own foot, so it'll be a Riders possession right in the corner. Bird to inbound, gets it into Katie Janazuska. Janazuska almost loses the dribble. Bird penetrates. Bird kicks to Lakoya in the corner. Head fake gets the defender in the air, penetrates herself and gets the 2 to go. Nice individual move from Sasha Lakoya in the corner. Harry has it now, reversing through Johnston. Hands off to Bazani James. High arcing shot from Harry, although it hits the wire, holding the backboard to the stanchion, and so that's classed as out of bounds. Bird has it now, loses the handle and the loose ball, dives on it though, body's on the floor. Stone goes straight through Harry for the loose ball and is called for the foul. And that'll be the second personal on Makana Stone, so she'll head to the bench, and it'll see Casey Cox come in for her first action of the ball game. Easy Harry splits the free throws at the line, so it's a slender 2-point lead for the Riders. Just a little over a minute left to play in the first quarter as Bird penetrates. No good, and rebounded by Dean again, who's been everywhere so far for the Cardiff Met Archers. Ball reversal from the Archers onto the perimeter in the hands of Ferguson, but again, nowhere to go. Good defensive stance by the Riders. Dean gets past Hickin though, gets inside, tough finish off 2. And that foul going on Katie Janazuska on the help, which I think head coach Antonio Quintero will be happy about. Wasn't the second on Hicken, which would have been a problem for the Riders. Bird loses the dribble, finds Januszewska, splits the trap. Nice forward pass ahead to Hicken, finds Lakoya. Good basketball from the Riders, but they can't quite convert the free. And it's Bazzini James down at the other end. Gets her own rebound, gets the 2 up, no good. And Hicken comes down to take the boards this time. Looking to go coast to coast, finds Lakoya in the corner, turns the 3 down this time. As the Riders look to get the final shot of the quarter. Lakoya pulls up for 2, it's good. And then gets the steal, but there's not quite enough time left on the clock. So at the end of the first quarter here at Loughborough University, it's the Loughborough Riders 20, the Cardiff Met Archers 19. Amber Dean leading all scorers at the moment for the Cardiff Met Archers with 12 points personal, shooting 66% from the floor, and also doing a little bit of everything as well to add 3 rebounds and 2 assists to that as well. A very early efficiency of 16 for her already in the ball game. Similarly, a little more spread out down at the other end for the Riders. James with 8 points, Januszewska with 6. But similarly, Januszewska also doing a little bit of everything, adding 4 rebounds and 2 assists to her personal stat line. Elsewhere today in NBL Division 1, the Thames Valley Cavaliers will take on the Reading Rockets. That game tips at 3 p.m. And then Anglia Ruskin University will also play the Solent Kestrels. That game tipping at 3:30. And we have Nottingham Trent University against the Worcester Wolves also playing today at 4 p.m. 4 high quality ball games in NBL Division 1 women. And then that's followed tomorrow by Ipswich taking on Solent Kestrels at 1 o'clock. And as I mentioned earlier on, that'll be the first game that will allow fans back at the ball game. And we are extremely happy to see that, as it marks a positive step in the right direction to getting back to some sort of normality for the season. So both teams to take the floor. It'll be a Cardiff possession to get us underway in the second quarter. Isabel Bunyan to inbound. Finds Dean. Dean inside to Richards. Richards drives baseline. Driving lane cut off by Cox. Gets the hook shot up to go. And it's tapped out of bounds by the Archers. Hicken now guarded very tightly by Bazzini James. Goes past her, gets to go coast to coast, takes a lot of contact. And Erin Hicken will head to the line and shoot 2. Hicken converts on the first for her first points of the ball game. And makes a second as well to extend that lead back out to 3. And Hicken, one of 3 players that are splitting their season between this Loughborough Riders team and the Leicester Riders WBBL team, who also will play the Cardiff Met Archers following this game in a double header of sorts. So that game will be WBBL Cup semi-final action. Meanwhile, here at Loughborough University in this first slate of the day, Hicken finds Bird in the corner. Shot clock's down to 5. Bird gets into the paint. Can't get the layup to go though. And the Archers will look to play in transition. Dean gets the shot up. Loose ball with bodies all over the floor, and a jump ball is called, so it'll be possession for the Riders. Janazuska to inbound, who's played the whole way so far. Katie Janazuska, just 16 years old, joining the Riders for her first season, joining from the Derby Trailblazers. Has it up high, reverses to Lakoya. Lakoya kicks out to Bird on the rise for free, and it's good. And that's just the second free of the ball game for the Riders, who are a strong three-point shooting team, and we'll be happy to see that one go through the rim. Dean down the other end to answer. Dean gets inside, no good. Rebounded by Janazuska again. Katie Janazuska on the boards early on. And there's a sub for the Cardiff Met Archers as Isabel Bazzini-James heads to the bench. Maisie Harry coming back in. Cox kicks out to Janazuska. Comes off the screen. Finds Lakoya on the rise for free. No good. And it's Cardiff who come down with a rebound. Dean in and out dribble, gets past the defender to the basket for two, and the foul. And Amber Dean is everywhere at the moment for the Cardiff Met Archers. She'll head to the free throw line to add the bonus point. And it takes her personal points total to 14 for the ball game. Make that 15 as she converts at the line. 5 for 5 from the free throw line for Dean now. And she is single-handedly keeping her team in the ball game. James up high. Finds Lakoya. Hicken in the corner for free. Defender got a piece. And again, Dean down the other end, gets inside and is fouled again, driving to the basket. And so Amber Dean, the 26-year-old for the Cardiff Met Archers, will go to the line to shoot two more. Good on the first, ties us up at 25 apiece. Archers have the ball after the offensive rebound. Richards has it, shot clock's down to 5. The floater's no good, and it's rebounded by Lakoya. Sasha Lakoya, the point guard, pushes ahead to James. James stops and pops for free, no good, but there's Lakoya to clean up the miss. And the Riders retake the lead. Green driving baseline. And had the pass deflected out of bounds as she was trying to find Katie Richards under the basket. And Richards and Dean will head to the bench. Louise Ferguson to inbound under the basket. No good on the layup. Rebounded by Green. Green gets the 2 to drop though, playing through contact. And we're all tied up at 27 apiece. Just over 6 minutes to play in the first half. James has it on the perimeter. Reverses through Bird. Bird with nowhere to go. Has to throw up a heave. No good. Rebounded by Cox. Cox can't get it up, but the loose ball comes to Bird, who says thank you very much and drops that one in for 2. Green again looking to go baseline. Gets inside to Karis Roy. Roy backing down on Cox. Goes up and gets fouled. A lot of contact under the basket on the hand. Karis Roy back at the free throw line for the Cardiff Met Archers. Converts on a first. But no good on the second, and it's rebounded by Morris, who's into the ball game for her first action today. Hicken goes almost coast to coast, drops it off to Bird. Extra pass out to James, who again penetrates and kicks to Bird in the corner for free. Top of the backboard, and then hit the wiring. So again, similar to Cardiff earlier on, that's out of bounds. And it'll be a Cardiff possession from the baseline. Roy backing down on Cox again. Kicks out to Bunyan. In and out, no good. And it's the Riders who come up with the rebound. But a quick jump ball is called. And we'll have a timeout called by head coach Sarah Wagstaff for the Cardiff Archers. Their first of the ball game, as they trail 29-28. Midway through the second quarter, and it's Amber Dean for the Cardiff Met Archers, who's doing everything for them at the moment. 16 points personal. The other end, the Riders really struggling to get it going from free. Seen a lot of penetrate kick from their offense in the ball game so far, but only 2 for 11 from the 3-point line. It only takes a couple more of those to drop before this becomes a very different ball game. And if they can start to limit Dean and keep her out of the paint and off the free throw line, where she has 6 points personal, and they'll start to pull away. But for the meantime, Cardiff just trailing by 1. And the Riders just asked if their timeout can be a little bit quicker next time, taking the maximum amount of time that they can do. And it's a huge free out of the timeout, and you can see how much it means to the Archers bench as they're all up celebrating. And they take the lead by 2. James penetrating again, stripped away by Bunyan. And the Archers looking to extend their lead. Roy has it. Roy with the Euro step and 2, and it's the biggest lead of the ball game for the Cardiff Met Archers. James goes past the defender. Floater's blocked. And the Archers coming down the other end. Williams finds Bunyan. Bunyan inside to Roy, who again had the seal, but is stripped away by Hicken. Hicken's going to run in transition, finds Morris just inside the 3-point line. Can't get the roll, but Hicken comes up with the offensive rebound for the Riders. Hicken finds James in the corner off the nice pass, and it's another free, no good for the Riders. Harry drives baseline and is blocked by Erin Hicken, and that'll be her second personal foul. And we'll see her head to the bench as Ainge and Jana Zuska come back in for the Riders. Johnston finds Roy up high. Riders showing zone for a possession to try and disrupt that offensive rhythm that the Archers have got. Big block by Cox. Looks to set up the transition break for the Riders as James manages to just gather the outlet pass. Finds Jana Zuska. Reverses to Ainge. Morris for free. No good on that. And rebounded by Bunyan. Bunyan going straight down the lane, but a travel called. And celebrations from the Cardiff bench just a little premature. But they do still lead by 4 in the ball game. 3 minutes and 30 left to play in the first half. Ainge penetrates again in the paint, looking for that penetrate kick. It's a staple of this Riders offense, but the minute they just can't get those shots to drop. Janazuska finds James. James again getting to that free throw line, stops and pops, and the 2 drops as well. Dean reversing through Bunyan. Bunyan finds Johnston. Johnston into the paint. Roy has it and gets the 2 to go. Karis Roy, the 15-year-old for Cardiff, now with 17 points. And Cardiff again being aggressive in the passing lanes, almost coming away with the steal. Ainge for free though, and Ainge gets the 3 to go. And boy, did the Riders need that shot to drop. Trims that Cardiff lead to 1. But also is a welcome sight to just see the ball going through the basket from long range. Roy penetrates, kicks out to Bazzini James. In the hands of Dean again, who finds Johnston for free. It's no good. And Cox comes up with the rebound. Janazuska's driving lane down the side of the court is cut off. Finds Cox, who in turn finds Ainge, but Ainge steps on the sideline, looking to penetrate. And we're going to have another timeout called by head coach Sarah Wagstaff. And it's a 1-point lead for the Cardiff Met Archers. A relatively high scoring affair to start the ball game between these two teams. And the key for the Riders, who have 3 players in their starting 5 who've been in the team of the week for the last 3 weeks, as selected by Focus Hoops. McConnor Stone, Erin Hicken and Robin Ainge. And they've been held to just 7 points combined as a trio, and that's been a real key to the game for the Archers so far. As Molly James and Katie Janazuska picking up the workload for the Riders at the moment, combining for 16 of their 34. And we're back underway after that final timeout of the half from the Archers. And after their last timeout, had a big free to start the possession. They'll be looking for the same again. As Dean has it. The free goes up, no good. Rebounded by Janazuska. Pitches ahead to James, who in turn pitches ahead to Morris, up and under for 2. What a finish for Emma Morris to get herself on the score sheet to start the game. And we got a foul called down the other end. That one's going to go on Robin Ainge. And Riders are in the team fouls. So it'll send Amber Dean again to the free throw line. Well, she's been doing a lot of damage today for the Archers, already 6 for 7 at the line. Ain't that 7 for 8? And converts them both. James almost loses the handle. Somehow manages to come up with it. Find Cox for the lay-in. And the Riders got very lucky on that possession. Now showing zone down at the other end. And a travel called on Heather Johnston. It doesn't really seem as if the Riders at the moment can keep a lot of the Cardiff team in front of them. Doesn't matter if they're in a man-to-man defense or that zone defense. The dribble penetration is hurting them at the moment. And that's why Cardiff are hanging around, as James does exactly the same at the other end. A nice little Euro step. Puts the Riders up by 3. 1 minute left to play in the first half. Bunyan into the paint again. Kicks off to Roy. Roy forces one. That's an ill-advised shot as it allows the Riders to go in transition down the other end. James can't convert on the layup though, but it's mopped up by Ainge. Morris has it. Finds Januszewska. Nice pass inside whilst in the air to Cox. Skip pass over to Ainge, who drives baseline, and it's blocked by Karis Roy. And that will result in a timeout for the Loughborough Riders. Their last timeout of the half. They'll have possession from the baseline. And the one benefit of games just being that little bit quieter because of the coronavirus is sometimes you can also hear exactly what the coaches are talking to their teams about. We're up on the balcony here at Loughborough University, but you can still hear quite clearly. And head coach Sarah Wagstaff just talking to her team about how they want to break that zone down and what they don't want to be doing against it, which is just matching up. They want to try and puncture the zone and find the gaps if they can do. It'll be interesting to see how they adjust to that coming out of the timeout. But in the meantime, they've got a defensive possession on their hands as they've got to try and get a stop, not allowing the Riders to pull away. And their biggest lead of the game was 8, as they went on that 8-0 run to start the ball game. But since then, it's been relatively back and forth between the two teams. And it'll be James to inbound. And turns the ball over. And there's a cardinal sin. Like every week we see that, but it drives coaches mad. And then Dean down the other end. Almost finding a teammate, Bazzini James, but it's tapped out of bounds for an Archer's possession. But there's nothing more frustrating as a coach to have a turnover out of a timeout, and there's another turnover for the Archers. And there's a foul called on Amber Dean. .18 seconds left in the ball game. Should be the final possession of the half as the shot clock's turned off. Januszewska up high, gets into the dribble series, kicks out to Ainge. Ainge puts up the 3. It's good. Robin Ainge, her second triple of the ball game, gives the Riders a lead of 6. Dean down the other end to answer, but can't quite get the roll. And at the end of first half action, it's the Loughborough Riders leading the ball game 43-37 against the Cardiff Met Archers. We're going to take a short break for half time, but we'll be back here at Loughborough University for second half action, so make sure you stay with us. Welcome back to Loughborough University, where we are for NBL Division 1 action between the Loughborough Riders and Cardiff Met Archers. Riders currently leading 43-37, but it's definitely been a back and forth ball game. Molly James leading the Riders with 12 points, but the story of the game has been Amber Dean, who has 18 points personal, doing work at the free throw line as well, where she's 8 for 9. Showing why she was a 1,000-point scorer for Dayton in just her junior year. And if the Riders have been talking about anything at halftime, it's going to be how they can slow her down. They've done a pretty good job on the rest of the roster in containing them. And immediately Dean takes the ball away for 2. And that is not what you're going to want to start the half with if you're the Loughborough Riders. And it's another steal out of the pressure. Ball comes up to Dean. And it's a quick 4 points in just 20 seconds for the Archers and Amber Dean. And it's a 2-point ball game. And how about that to start the second half? Hicken drives baseline. A layup rims in and out. Comes up with her own rebound. Finds James. James's head fake gets the defense in the air. Somehow the ball comes to Stone, who front rims it on the 2, and the Archers all just composes. But what a whirlwind 30 seconds to start the second half. Tough move inside for Katie Richards, and we're all tied up at 43 apiece. And it's a 6-0 run for the Archers in the first minute of the second half to tie us all up. And we were saying this is a back and forth ball game. The second half looks like it's going to be no different. James for 3. And boy, did the Riders need that one. 46-43 now the score. Ball in the hands of Ferguson. Almost falling out of bounds. Somehow the Archers managed to keep it in possession. Morris a little bit too much on the 3, and it's rebounded by James. James kicks ahead to Hicken, inside to Stone with the nice give and go. Hicken stripped away though, and the Archers with a good defensive stance. Ferguson has it. And Dean on the perimeter. Dean calling for the screen. Doesn't use it though and loses the ball as it comes up with James. James kicks ahead to Bird. Bird gets the 2 to go in transition. Dean for 3. Nets it wide open. And again, it's a 2-point ball game. Bird has it. Comes off the screen from Stone. Tries to find Stone on the roll, but it's tapped away by Richards, who's then called for the foul. And after 2.5 minutes of second half action, we're just going to try and catch our breath. What a start to the second half. It's been a 9-5 run from the Archers in just that 2.5 minute spell. And the Riders will look to answer through Bird, who's blocked as she drives to the basket. James finds Bird up high, down to Hicken. Hicken into Stone, shot clock's down to 3. Stone fades away for 2. Tough move by McConnor Stone. And she'll be pleased to see the ball go through the basket as well. So first points from the field as Hicken strips it away. Goes to coast with the right hand scoop. Morris swarmed by 2 Riders defenders. Lakoya almost comes up with the rebound. And the Archers get the ball in the hands of Amber Dean, who drives straight through the middle of the paint. And another 2 for Amber Dean. The rider's struggling to guard her at the moment. Bird almost loses the ball, finds Stone, head fake, gets the defender in the air. And Makana Stone with back-to-back points for the Riders. Dean again going downhill into the paint. Kicks out to Morris for free. No good. Rebounded by Stone. And Stone is fouled by Karis Roy. And another couple of subs for the Archers, whose rotations have been pretty short and sharp. They're always bringing fresh players in. Hicken. And it's stripped away again by Amber Dean, who is everywhere in this ball game. Dean goes coast to coast and is called for an offensive foul. Hicken doing a great job of getting back and putting her body on the line. James. Finds Hicken through the elevator screen. No good. A huge rebound by Makana Stone and put back. And this is not what the Cardiff Met Archers want to be seeing, as Makana Stone starting to find her groove. 6 consecutive points for the American forward. There's a foul called on Isabel Bunyan. Yeah, Sasha Lakoya just has a hand in the back on the drive. Just a brief pause as the referees just chat to both of the coaches, reminding them to leave their face masks on and following the coronavirus protocols. And now we'll get the free throws at the line. First one's no good. Second one no good. But the defense a little bit over-eager, so it'll be another one for Eloise Ferguson at the free throw line. Misses all 3, but somehow the ball's in the hands of Amber Dean. It's another right-handed finish. And another foul, and she'll head back to the free throw line again. And Amber Dean already making her case to be in the team of the week. Dean now up to 27 points personal in the ball game, 28 with the free throw. We're only midway through the third quarter. Hicken ahead to Stone. Stone, nice touch pass to Bird. And a perfectly executed transition for the Loughborough Riders. Stone with a deflection. Be an Archer's ball from the sideline, and Katie Richards coming back into the ball game. Bunyan to inbounds, finds Dean up high. Dean now guarded by Hicken. Big downhill drive by Richards straight off the bench as she goes at Stone. And it's a 5-point ball game again. James pushing in transition, but had a defender on a hip, but almost nowhere to go. Stone penetrates. That floater no good this time as it goes hard off the backboard. And it's the Archers who come down with the rebound. Nice advance pass. Finds Harry, but Harry can't quite find Green on the extra pass. Lakoya almost stripped away again by Dean, who is gambling on almost every entry pass, but finding joy in it at the moment. Hicken in the corner, wide open 3, No good. Hits the top of the backboard and gets wedged. And the ball will remain stuck at the top of the backboard as the referee continues the game. So it's in the hands of the Archers. Bunyan finds finds Harry. Harry, little pass over the top to Richards, no good. Gets the rebound herself though. And the Archers can't quite gather the ball. On a second offensive rebound. So it'll be a Riders possession from the baseline. Lakoya to inbound to James. Molly James, the Charnwood College rider, along with two other of the five on the floor at the moment, as Stone goes hard to the basket and gets fouled. The foul's going to go on Katie Richards. It'll be her third of the ball game, and McConnor Stone is going to head to the free throw line again. And after just 2 points in the first half, McConnor Stone is now up to 10 points personal and 4 rebounds. Starting to come to life a little bit, showing some of that form that saw her voted to the Team of the Week and also Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago for that big 18-point, 25 rebound game in week 6. Richards has it up high, finds Dean, shot clock down to 5. Dean into the paint. Offensive foul called. As McConnor Stone put her body on the line, take away the driving lane from Amber Dean. James now for the Riders. Finds Stone up high. Stone thinks about the three, penetrates left. Had the lane, but tried to kick it to Hicken in the corner. And then on the loose ball, there's a foul called on Sasha Lakoya. It'll be the third on Lakoya for the game. Hicken almost getting blown by on the reach, but manages to get back in front. Dangerous pass over to Johnston. Hands off to Ferguson now. Harry drives baseline. Stripped away by the Riders, who have an opportunity to go in transition. Lakoya's pass is deflected. And it's ahead to Harry. Nice give and go with Bunyan and an easy 2. James now for the Riders. Swarmed on the switch, but manages to get it to Hicken. Hicken kicks to Lakoya in the corner for 3. Back rim, rebounded by Bunyan. And a foul called on Hicken for the block. Just some clarification on who that foul was on between the table official and the referee. It was on Erin Hicken, and that'll be our third personal foul. Both teams now in team fouls in the penalty. Last 2 minutes of the third quarter here at Loughborough University. Cardiff Archers making their debut game in this season's NBL Division 1, having not played until now, and the ball is stripped away from James. Molly James going to go coast to coast. Doesn't get the 2 to go, rebounded by Stone, who gets the putback and the foul. And McConnor Stone will head to the free throw line again for the 4th time in this second half. Stone converts on the freebie at the line, and it opens up a 9-point lead for the Riders now. It's their biggest lead of the ball game. Dean again with that right-hand drive. Dumps it off this time though. Loose ball comes up somehow in the hands of Dean. And then in the hands of Johnston, who puts it in for 2. We've just got to pause as both Morris and Dean hit the deck pretty hard. Hicken now for the Riders. They head to Morris. A little bit too much on the pass. Somehow it's kept in by the Archers to Stone, who then throws it out of bounds. That turnover is criminal. Had an opportunity to capitalize there, but losing it. And so it'll be an Archers ball from the sideline, inbounded by Bunyan. As Ferguson guarded closely by James up high, picks the dribble up, nowhere to go. Manages to get it back to Bunyan, who loses the handle. And again, the Riders are looking to go in transition. Morris finds Stone. Stone went with the right hand rather than the left. And misses at the rim, but tipped out of bounds by the Archers, so the Riders will get possession back. 17 on the shot clock. Morris has it. Reverses through Bird. Finds James wide open for 3. Drills it. And it's a 10-point ball game now for the Riders. Ferguson driving baseline, a lot of contact. That foul's going to go on McConnor Stone. And that'll be a 3rd personal foul on Stone. A couple of subs for the Riders as James and Hicken head to the bench. Ainge and Januszewska coming back in. Rebounded by Stone as both free throws are missed. Skip pass ahead to Bird. Bird finds Ainge on the cut to Januszewska. Stone thought about the elbow jump shot. Skips it behind to Morris for 3. That one's no good. And 3 players keep it in bounds, but it ends up in the hands of the Cardiff Archers. And there's a push called on Hannah Bird, followed by a warning to the bench for jumping up and reacting. So team fouls means we'll get 2 at the line again. And the first one's good. No good on the second. And there's a rebound for McConnor Stone, who's fouled on the rebound by Isabella Bazzini James. So team fouls means we'll go straight down the other end, and Stone will head to the line for 2. Stone capitalizes by making the first. And the second. The lead now stands at 11, 69 to 58. The biggest lead of the ball game. And the pass just tapped out of bounds by the Riders, so it'll be an Archers possession again from the sideline. 15 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Johnston to inbound. Finds Richards, high post, turnaround jumper, it's good. And we're into 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Januszewska finds Morris. Morris across to Ainge. Ainge gets the free, blocked by Bunyan. And at the end of 3, it's the Loughborough Riders 69, The Cardiff Met Archers 58. And after weathering that early 6-0 run from the Archers to start the quarter and tie it up, the Riders have extended their lead to the largest of the ball game. McCanna Stone coming to life for the Loughborough Riders. Now up to 16 points personal to go along with 7 rebounds. She was at just 2 points and 2 rebounds at the half. Whatever head coach Antonio Quintero was saying to her in the halftime break has definitely triggered some sort of response, and that's exactly what they would have wanted from the coaching staff for the Riders. On the other end, though, for the Cardiff Met Archers, it's still the Amber Dean show. 30 points through three quarters of action, and doing that in just 22 minutes so far. However, the Riders were starting to adjust their defense ever so slightly on the last few possessions when she was on the floor. Starting to try and force her left to get a body, or at least allow her to see bodies when she's starting to penetrate and going downhill. The majority of her points all coming at the basket or at the free throw line when she's getting downhill. Only 1 for 1 from 3. A huge efficiency of 29 for her through 3 quarters of NBL Division 1 action. And elsewhere in the league, as we were saying earlier on, another 3 games on the slate today in WNBL Division 1 as Thames Valley Cavaliers take on the Reading Rockets. That game tipping off in just 40 minutes. That one then followed by Anglia Ruskin against the Solent Kestrels at 3:30, and then the 4 p.m. game, Nottingham Trent University taking on the Worcester Wolves. Before tomorrow at 1 p.m, Solent are back in action as they take on Ipswich. And there's a backcourt call to start the quarter. That's the second backcourt we've seen today to start a quarter, so the Riders will get possession. Morris to inbound. Gets it into Bird. Hands off to Ainge. A little bit loose on the handoff, but Bird keeps it. Finds Morris on the baseline cut. Kicks to Ainge. Shot clock down to 2. Front rim no good, and it's rebounded by Green. And Medine has it. Finds Green in the corner. Drives baseline. Takes a lot of contact. And a travel called as the defense is stood. Ainge now getting the Riders into their offense. That elevator screen again as she finds Morris open for 3. But it's no good this time. Morris for the Archers this time, no good either, and it's rebounded by Jana Zuska. Ainge goes coast to coast, gets the foul on the layup, and will head to the free throw line with an opportunity to add 1 more to her personal total. No good at the free throw line. It's rebounded by Amber Dean. Dean goes past 3 Loughborough players. Finds Roy, who's blocked by Jana Zuska. I think everyone was expecting some sort of foul call, but nothing called. 3's no good as it's rebounded by Roy, and there's bodies on the floor. As Roy and Alex Shaw into the ball game for the Riders wrap it up. And the possession arrow will point in the way of the Riders. Morris into Jana Zuska. Finds Ainge. Bird comes off the pin down. Bird goes back where she came from. Shot's no good. Rebounded by Shaw. She can't get her 2 to drop though. And it's an Archer's possession in the hands of Harry. Again, looking inside, a little bit too much on the pass. As Karis Roy can't gather it, and that will trigger a couple of subs for the Archers. As both Morris and Roy will head to the bench. Ainge for the Riders. 8 minutes left to play in the ball game. Ainge looking to go downhill. Kicks to Morris. Back out to Ainge. Ainge again looking to penetrate, but nowhere to go. Skip pass across to Bird. Pulls up from 3, and it's good. The lead now up to 14. And Dean is again swarmed at the defensive end. Richards fadeaway 2. Tough take. No good as it comes up front of the rim, and Ainge is going to try and go all the way down the other end. Almost loses the dribble. Last deflected out of bounds by the Archers, and that will force head coach Sarah Wagstaff into a timeout. And our first timeout of the second half, as she just wants to talk it over with her team. And again, as I was saying earlier on, with there being no crowd in the gym for these games during the coronavirus pandemic, it often means you can hear a lot of what the coaching staff are talking about during the timeouts. And Sarah Wagstaff just down there telling her team there's way more time left on the clock than they think. You don't need to hit the home run play. Just want to chip away at this lead. But it is the largest lead of the game, 74-60. The Riders lead by 14. And most of their points, 32 of them, coming off 24 turnovers for the Cardiff Met Archers. Riders inbound with Jana Zuska in the corner, who penetrates. Cardiff defense collapses around her. Kick out to Morris. Nice fake to get some space and separation. But the 2 won't go for Ema Morris. Dean again down the other end is fouled again. And that'll be the 8th foul of the game on Amber Dean. Drawing multiple fouls for the Cardiff Met Archers. And Dean gets it inside, forces up a shot, but the defense withstood big and tall. And it gives the Riders an opportunity to run after the stop. Ainge has it up high, calls for the screen from Stone. Stone rolls hard, takes the defense with her, kicks out Jana Zuska for 2. And that play was set up by McConnor Stone off that roll. And now starting to see the Riders face guard Amber Dean. Make it difficult for her on the catch. Dean steps back for 2, front rims it, and is rebounded by Stone. Ainge crossover to get past the defender, finds Stone, who again tries to finish with the right rather than going with the left hand. And the layup's no good. Dean has it. Nice pass inside to Green from Amber Dean. And showing the vision as well as the scoring prowess for the Cardiff Met Archers. Ainge inside to Stone. Stone is blocked, but a foul is called. And Katie Richards reacting to just get a stern look from referee Roger Harrison. So Stone back at the free throw line again. Converts on the first. And on the second, takes her up to 18 points, 9 rebounds for the ball game now for Stone. 6 minutes left to play. The Riders lead at 16. Looking to move off their 500 record. They're currently sat at 2-2. Dean penetrates and is fouled. And that foul is going to go on Robin Ainge. She just hit Amber Dean on the side of the head as she penetrated to the hoop. And that's the 4th foul on Ainge, which will result in a sub as Erin Hicking comes in and Ainge heads to the baseline. Richards. Another foul called on the drive. This one on Hannah Bird. Inbound into Richards. Richards with the lefty hook. It's no good. It's rebounded by Morris. Hicking in the corner. Inside to Stone. Kicks back out to Morris. Nice ball movement from the Riders as the ball comes into Stone. Hicking had the shot, but again goes back into Stone. James has it high. Shot clock down to 7. Molly James hits the triple. And it's a 19-point lead. Ball in the hands of Johnston now. Johnston finds a teammate, Bunyan. Bunyan penetrates straight down the lane and converts it. And you just sense this game starting to slow down a little bit. Both teams have been quite active in transition. Stone comes off the pin down. Thinks about the 3, takes the 2, rattles in and out, but it's rebounded by Morris. Hicking again to Stone. Finds James. Nice ball movement again off the offensive boards for the Riders. Finds Hannah Bird wide open for 3. And it's a 20-point ball game all of a sudden. Cavaton Skyder loses the ball. James comes up with it. Goes all the way down at the other end for 2. And we're going to have a timeout called. And after that turnover, I think Greta Cavaton-Skyder just took a shot in the face, but she looks like she's okay. It's been a huge 15-4 point run for the Riders that has really extended the lead for them up to 20. And after the way the Archers came out to start the second half, we were almost expecting them to come out and continue to compete in this ball game, which they have done to a certain extent, but turnovers have been their downfall almost. And the Riders also stepping up their defensive intensity to hold them to just 4 so far in this 4th quarter. And there's another turnover there for the Archers. Morris to inbound, gets it into Lakoya. Lakoya comes off a good screen from Stone, kick out to Hickin. Hickin finds James, who's had the hot hand, but that one's no good, and a wry smile on the face of Molly James after the miss. Morris skips ahead to Bunyan. Bunyan again got it by James, looking for the steal. Roy gets inside, good stand, finds Aberdeen under the basket for 2, but that's no good. And it's in the hands of Sasha Lakoya. Lakoya goes to the Euro step, layup no good, and she looks at her own hands. Bunyan going coast to coast and scores on the layup. 20-point ball game now, 86-66, the Riders lead. James looking to get the Riders into their offense. Again, Stone comes off that pin down to the high post catch, and she'll get fouled on Karis Roy. Morris to inbound into Stone. Stone penetrates, goes downhill, comes to a jump stop, no good on the hook shot though, and it's the Archers who gather the ball. Bunyan comes off the screen from Dean to get the switch. Bunyan into the paint again, kicks out to Bazzini James, finds Morris for free. Way too much on that one. But as an offensive rebound, shot clock's down to 5. Bazzini James just steps inside the 3-point line and banks it home. And the whole bench up in arms to celebrate as Isabella Bazzini James gets her first points on the board, just 16 years old. And there will be subs on both sides. As Ema Morris heads to the bench for the Riders, Beth Cox coming in for her first action of the season for the Loughborough Riders. McCoy is at the line, converts her first. And a second, so bumps that lead back up to 20. Bazzini James has it. Bunyan finds Morris. Morris looking to drive baseline. Is fouled. And that'll be the 4th team foul on the Riders. It's going to go on Erin Hicken. And that's Hickens' 4th personal foul. And both teams will now be in the penalty if there are any more. Harry for free, no good. Loose ball tipped by James. Again, bodies on the floor fighting for the rebound. And it'll be an Archers possession as the arrow points in their favour. Bunyan up high to Roy. Roy, nice drive from Karis Roy, but just can't quite get the roll on the finish. And it's Stone who comes up with a rebound. And then looking for the advance pass, just travels on the gather. It'll be the 3rd turnover of the game for McConnor Stone, but otherwise a pretty exemplary stat line with 18 points and 10 rebounds for the double-double. Shot clock violation for the Archers, following a strong defensive stance by the Riders. And there'll be another sub as Alex Shaw comes in to the ball game. McConnor Stone will head to the bench, and that'll be the end of her afternoon for the Riders. James, tough crossover to get to the basket, but a little bit too much on the finger roll, and it allows the Archers an opportunity to run almost in transition, but they just slow the ball down. Roy gets inside, has the ball stripped, and it's in the hands of Sasha Lakoya. Hands off to James. James, again the same move, but again the same outcome on the finish. Bunyan inside to Roy. Roy trying to drive baseline, driving lane cut off by Shaw, who fouls her on the step through. Gets the 2 to go and will head to the line. And Karis Roy gets the friendly roll from the free throw line. Hicken deciding to just absolutely bust the press on her own as she goes past 4. Tries to find Cox in the corner, who was wide open for 3, but a little bit too much on the pass. And be a timeout called. It's a timeout for the Archers, who will just talk it over. And whilst many might think it a 17-point game at the moment, there's not much point in that timeout. When you actually look down at the age of a lot of this Cardiff Met Archers roster, it's definitely a teachable moment for head coach Sarah Wagstaff. Will be using some of her experience over the years as a player and a coach to just impart some of that teaching and wisdom. And 7 of the 12 players for the Archers under the age of 18. 4 of them either 16 and under as well, so they've given a really good account of themselves today as a team, paced, as we've been saying, by Amber Dean. Dean a quiet 4th quarter as the Archers have kind of gone with the youth and allowed some of the younger players an opportunity to play, but Dean with 30 points personal in just 28 minutes of action, along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists and 4 steals. A bit of a do-it-all type performance that will put her in Team of the Week conversation. In the meantime, we're back on court for the final minute of the ball game. Bunyan gets into the paint. Reverse pivot, no good. Kicks out to Kevetin Skyter. No good on the jumper. Inside though, and a block by Sasha Lakoya. And the Riders bench loving that one. Up to celebrate. Hicken. 10 seconds separating the game clock and shot clock. So the Riders will have to get a shot up. It's inside to Shaw. And a travel is called. Harry has it for the Archers. Kicks ahead to Kevetin Skyter, who stops, pops for 2, no good. And it's rebounded by Roy. And jump ball will be the call. 7 seconds left on the game clock. Riders possession from the sideline. And Hicken will just dribble it out for the end of the ball game. And it's the Loughborough Riders who take the win 88-71 over the Cardiff Met Archers. And if you take a look down the stat line, a big performance from Amber Dean for the Cardiff Met Archers with 30 points personal, 5 rebounds, 5 assists and 4 steals, as we were saying, but big performances at the other end of the board. Molly James with a huge 23 points for the Riders. McConnor Stone coming to life in the second half with 18 points and 11 rebounds, giving her an efficiency rating of 21. And then, not to discourage either, Hannah Bird with 15 off the bench in 24 minutes of action. So performances all round for the Riders to see them through and improve their record to 3-2. Cardiff dropped to 0-1 in their first game of the year. On behalf of all of us here at Loughborough Basketball, my name's Liam Jefferson. Thank you for joining us. For those of you that have the need to watch more basketball on this Saturday afternoon, the Leicester Riders WBBL team will now also be taking on the Cardiff Met Archers in WBBL Cup semi-final action over on the WBBL live stream. So be sure to join us for that one at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you again.